Around this time last month, in December of 2024, this Twitter user made this post that I'm going to read to you soon, and it caused such a reaction online that was tragic to watch. It wasn't even necessarily anything out of pocket or strange that was said, but so many black women took to mocking, spurning, and dragging her for said post. So let's read it and see what all the hollering was for. Hey guys, it's Julie here. How are you guys doing? Today, we'll be talking about the glorification of wigs at the expense of natural hair by black women to black women. Disclaimer: this video will be filled with hard facts and uncomfortable truths about the non-acceptance of natural hair perpetuated by none other than black women. And if that's something you hate to hear, do yourself a favor and click off. I will not be mincing my words. In other words, or like my black American friends will say, I will be clocking your shit today. So it's becoming a thing now where when you post beautiful textures of natural hair and encourage black women to take care of their beautiful tresses and highlight the beauty of our hair, you get dragged for it. Because how dare you not allow black women continue to go on hating their hair? How dare you challenge them into doing a little introspection as to why they are ashamed of it or why they wear wigs that look nothing like their hair 365 days a year? It's much easier to accuse the one showing you the beauty of your own hair and point the finger and call them a liar, gaslighter, hypocrite, and a pick-me. I've seen several times online when someone makes an appreciation post of natural hair and the comments are just vile. They are super weird and defensive. For some reason, attempting to put natural hair on a pedestal invites such a visceral reaction from black women. Seeing beautiful, thriving natural hair makes some black women deeply unhappy. It's like they feel attacked and grasp desperately for any form of defense, and all they can come up with is pseudo-liberalist garble on why threads like this are harmful to society. They will say things like, oh, how come you only post natural hair that fit in the beauty standards? Why is your thread filled with only long fussy hair? Oh, you people only like natural hair when it's long. It's funny how you never post fussy hair in its unwashed, uncombed, unmanipulated state and appreciate that. It's always combed, styled, and moisturized healthy hairs you people appreciate. Why don't you ever post thin, balding, stringy, fussy hair? You must hate being black. The criticism just gets more and more bizarre the more you listen. They wrap it up in silly verbiage and get a lot of like-minded clowns to retweet like they're saying something groundbreaking. It's like they want black women to feel guilty for liking or admiring long, healthy, kinky hairs that look like theirs. It's like they think it's a gotcha that you're displaying your love for thick, full hairs. It's like they see your appreciation for thriving, healthy, natural hairs as a result of the colonized mind. But this right here, this is okay. Post a buzz down all day, every day. These women will look the other way. They may even cheer you on. I even saw a tweet that said that a woman who was critiquing this overdependence on wigs problem has, and I quote, created a space to be anti-black. This person went on to say that wig obsession, and I quote again, is a part of our culture. Our own culture, shall not mine. Shout out to this woman called Amazon Loney on Twitter. She has been whacking these weirdos left, right, and center, and I love to see it. You know, I used to be very understanding and sad about this self-hate and projection the wig stans have. Oh, and another disclaimer. There is a difference between someone who wears wigs and a wig warrior or a bust-down bandit, as I would refer to them in this video. The former wears wigs occasionally for convenience or variety, and the latter sees wigs as superior to their natural hair and goes on to project that feeling onto other black women. You may even find a bust-down bandit or a member of the Lace Legion camped out in the comment section of some poor Indian woman brushing her hair on TikTok and begging said woman to cut a few milligrams of her hair and toss it her way like the dog she is so she can collect it and wear it on her head like a fool. I'm sorry, I said I was going to be harsh. This behavior is very embarrassing, classless, and degrading, and it has to stop. You can't be sitting online looking for a woman with long hair to ask her to cut her hair off and give it to you so you can make it into a wig. Be so for real. So I used to be very understanding when I saw the self-hate. I'll be like, oh, it's just the brainwashing. They don't know better. But I realized that this was just me infantilizing these women. These are grown women and they are actively trying to do the same brainwashing that was done to them to younger black girls watching and listening to these things. And that's where I draw the line. I don't want to see young black girls grow to be this insufferable and self-loathing. So just last month, this post went viral and the poster got dragged for posting this. There was a lot of back and forth and chit chat over this topic and she got a lot of tongues wagging for her post. It was a post saying that natural hair is beautiful and should be worn more without the constant bashing and criticism. This is what it has become. A black woman saying that black women should love their hairs is now an anti-black rhetoric. So let's read the post and discuss the hypocrisy of the wig warriors, the bust-down bandits, the demographic who has made it their life's mission to go to war and defend their HD melted bohemian wavy Filipino water curl wigs. Ooh. So this post goes, both of these hairstyles are basically the same thing. There is a reason many of you will spend hours of your time and thousands of your cash to achieve the first one instead of accepting the second one in its beauty. Then you say 4C hair is difficult, right? And then she goes on to say, she's quoting what these people say. They say, white girls just get to wake up and throw their hair in a bun or a ponytail. It's not fair. You can literally do the same thing. Then she shows pictures of 4C hair in a pineapple, which is the straight hair equivalent of a ponytail. Like I've said before on this channel, a pineapple is a black girl's messy bun. Now, who could have thought that this was enough reason for people to go up in a rampage to try and disprove her point? The point is, there are not many, if any, black women born with naturally straight hair. African women's hairs have kinks and coils to their texture. If you're trying to achieve the hairstyle on the left, you're doing so with a wig. In this case, a 360 lace wig that you want to pass off as your hair. I know a silk press or natural hair will temporarily straighten out your hair and give you similar results, but we're not talking about team silk press. We're talking about the hypocrisy of calling natural hair hard and stressful when a lace wig is quite hard and stressful to install and maintain. We're also talking about how the mentality of trying to pass on fake hairs as yours is corrupting many people's minds to the point where they will happily talk down on their hair or other black women's natural hair because they think their store-bought hair is superior. It has also corrupted many black women's minds to the point where they think it's funny and smart to threaten to cut other people's hair to wear. But as a joke, of course. It's just a little jokey joke. I honestly don't see anything controversial in what was said. Do many black women not spend all the time they should have spent caring for their own hair, hiding under wigs, and further destroying their natural hair in the process? That's true. The reason I'm making this video is to show how black women would partake in their own erasure and mocking, and then turn around to complain how nobody accepts their hair. You see things that these women would jump down the throat of another woman from a different race or ethnicity or even skin tone for saying to her, she loves to say to herself, especially to prove a silly point. Now, why would this post get people up in arms protesting, you may wonder? Because it did get a lot of backlash from black women. So many said things about natural hair that if a woman from a different ethnicity or race ever dares to infer, they will jump down her throat. So let's take a look at this tomfoolery. This woman says, I can't believe you're gaslighting people into thinking that 4C hair isn't difficult to manage. You have got to be BSing on my timeline. Then she goes on to say, detangling, slicking down, stretching, moisturizing. Mind you, I have 3C hair. Interesting. And this hairstyle was hard to achieve with this amount of shrinkage and the inability to slick my hair down effectively. And even when I got a good gel to achieve it, a hairstylist had to cut my hair bald because of how damaged it made my hair. You're so twisted that you really tell black women that things that are such a common experience for all black women isn't real simply because you get the gist of what she's saying. This woman doesn't have 4C hair, but she has all this negative stuff to say about it. Now, 3C hair looks like this, and she goes on to list the different ways she struggles with trying to make her hair look like this texture. That's why we say when you try to make your hair look like what it's not, when your mind sees a different hair texture as the pinnacle of beauty or something you have to achieve in order to tap in, you begin to struggle. Now, I don't personally like pin straight hair. I don't know if I'll ever get a silk press. I do love a good blowout though. Trying to get my hair that looks like this to conform to this every time I want to style it is going to cause me a lot of grief. I have come to accept this. I said this in my glow up video. It's also not something I particularly want. Because imagine if people with straight hair woke up every day and tried to make their straight hair look like an afro. They would hate their hair too. A slick pony is not exactly unachievable, and she's of course dramatizing it. All you have to do is get a silk press and put it in a ponytail if you want one so bad. Getting your curly hair to lie straight and flat does require skill and product so as not to heat damage your hair. So she's ranting about 3C hair being hard because she can't get it to look like 1A. Like this. This woman has lost the plot. She's so mad she can't get her hair straight, and she's literally typing in rage and being almost incoherent and missing the point. The point the original poster was trying to make is, if you have time to get your wig looking like this, you most definitely have time for caring for your hair too. This is a style that's easy for straight hair to achieve because it works with their texture. If your hair is curly, you'd be working against your texture to get it to look like this, and that's why you're struggling and having a hairstylist damage your hair. Also, no one is saying you can't do both. If you care for your hair and wear wigs occasionally, good for you. But hyperfixating on the things your hair can't do rather than the things that it can do is where most people get it wrong. This is the equivalent of a ponytail for people with 4C hair. So what's stopping you from getting your hair like this and going out like you say you want to do so badly? Because this is the argument. These people say, I just wish I was able to put my hair in a ponytail and go, like the white girls. I just wish my hair could be so easy to style. Sis, you can put your hair in a pineapple and go. So what's the issue? This other woman says, acting like you don't have to twist, moisturize, flaxseed, coconut, honey, avocado, steam, oil, offer a burnt offering, and do a rain dance the night before. You see how some of you are? No, because this is a simple puff style. The easiest to achieve for women with natural, except of course you have super short hair. Same way you can't put a bowl cut in a ponytail. All you need is your fingers and a hair towel or a comb to fluff it out if you prefer that. There are so many tutorials showing how easy it is. This style can be achieved in seconds. So much so that it became a fun little TikTok challenge to get your hair in a puff like that. Let me hear you say. You don't even need detangled hair for this. So what does twisting have to do with this? What does flaxseed, honey and coconut and dancing in the Amazon have to do with this hairstyle? You are trying so hard to find reason to justify the self-hate. Because this is literally how a lace wig is installed. This is the actual process in maintaining a lace wig. Sometimes you have to go back to your stylist and have them retouch it if it lifts before the time you have to take it off. You actually risk setting fire to your head when straightening these wigs depending on the quality of the hair you're using. But you know, it's natural hair that requires a rain dance. Your hair is turning to a burnt offering as we speak. You will be the one dancing in the rain when your head catches fire. Mind you, this post currently has over 30,000 likes while the original has like 7,000. Just so you know. This one has no argument and just goes on to say, I hate people like this. Well, thank you for your contribution. This is how the wig warriors feel, you guys. They hate when people shed positive light on natural hair because it forces them to confront their own issues with theirs. And they hate the self-reflection. This girl is providing a viable solution to the infamous complaint, which is, I don't like my hair because I can't just put it in an easy style and go. Plus the, it takes hours to style arguments. Just get a string, fluff it a little, and it doesn't even have to be detangled for this style. Tie it in the ponytail and go. For those days you feel lazy and you don't have the time for the high maintenance. That's all she said. And they want her head on a silver platter. Here comes another frontal fiend. It has to be a man behind the account. What about this post gives a man? You guys spend so much time, money and effort trying to achieve the first look because you dread looking like the second pick because of your own internal issues. Someone points it out and they have to be a man? You know, I prefer the wig girlies who tell you straight up that they don't like their hair and they use wigs to cover it up than the ones that pretend you're delusional for saying natural hair is not impossible to maintain. If natural hair was literally so impossible to maintain, we wouldn't have it in the first place. Which hairstyle gets bashed? You wig warriors do the most of the bashing these days. You had the excuse of racism before, but now you've continued the good fight with your self-hate. It's not just in how you speak of your own hair, but how you speak of other people's. Look at the quotes on this tweet. You guys say you're being gaslit into loving and accepting your own hair. That's not crazy to you. You get visceral when someone promotes healthy, long, beautiful, natural hair on their channels or pages. You come here talking about, and where are the short afros? Why don't you ever post the short hairs? I want to see the short hairs. I want to see the girls that are bald. If you don't post that, you don't love natural hair. The original poster literally posted a long ponytail with the equivalent being a high puff. How will short hair achieve this look? Be so for real. These fake woke accounts are always huffing and puffing when there is a natural hair appreciation post, always talking about post more 4C, post more short hair, or you're fake. If you go on to other hair blogs belonging to women of other races or see the types of hairs promoted on ads and magazines, it's usually long, full, rich hairs because it's universally a sign of femininity. Even in different African tribes, they have ways of preserving and maintaining their hair in order to achieve length. So why do you think it's a gotcha when these pages post long natural hair? Whole time, it's even mid-length hair. My hair is about the same size and length, and I don't consider it long per se. I consider it big, yes, but when I measure the length, it's not exactly what I'll describe as long, at least according to my standard. And this person says, the natural hair girls love to act like telling the truth about our hair is anti-black or a form of self-hate, but our hair is enough work. I love my hair, but don't act like it's low maintenance. Mind you, this person just provided a low maintenance hairstyle for girls who have so much to do that they feel like they can't have a style that easily works for them. And then she goes on to say, hair products aren't cheap. DIY products are time consuming. Too many protective styles damage hair follicles. Letting your hair just be can be drying, cause split ends and single strand knots. Washing hair too often strips nutrients. Washing hair too seldom. She's just going on to list all the different ways your hair is literally impossible to have. Hair that grows out of your scalp. She's going on to tell us how impossible it is to have natural hair. Telling the truth about our hair, she said, and the truth is, my hair is disgusting, can never grow, it's hard to manage, stiff, boring, undesirable, and every other negative adjective you can think of. Hair products aren't cheap, but buying a good set can last you months, if not a year. Now, the wigs you wear obsessively aren't cheap either. Neither are the products you have to buy to maintain said wigs with. The hairstylist will also charge you for installing and revamping your lace fronts as well. So what are we even talking about here? Money is clearly not the problem for these girls. Washing your hair once a week or finding a schedule that works for you won't damage your hair. I promise you. Under these wigs, you have to protective style your hair and put them in braids as well. So I'm trying to see how the wigs are better or more convenient. You don't have to lie. This is a long-winded way of saying I just think the wigs are more aesthetically suited for me than my natural hair. That's more respectable than whatever empty babble this was. So let's not act like only natural hair needs braids. I also talk about how braids that are too tight will destroy your hair. Natural or not, straight hair or curly hair. All these things like split ends, dry hair, single strands knot are just regular hair maintenance you have to look out for. Just like any other thing you want to maintain. The point is that there is a style for black women to achieve when they want a simple, easy style like the original poster suggested. How do we think it's normal that you can get this much backlash for saying, hey guys, so this natural hairstyle is very easy if you have fussy hair or natural hair for that matter. This behavior is so worrisome and strange. Why is there a need to nitpick natural hair appreciation? Just in case you guys think that this is a rare singular occurrence, no, it happens a lot. I'm not just pulling this stuff out of my butt. Let's take a look at another natural hair thread. This is a thread of beautiful natural hair that this lady posted, and here goes these people again. You're only appreciating fussy hair if it's long, and somebody said very true, because if it's short they be screaming bald-headed nappy head so quick. They never tell us who actually calls short hair bald-headed. Is it the same women who wear their own natural hair proudly or make natural hair appreciation posts? I don't think so. That's the frontal felons, part of your gang. So don't try and act like this is a general everybody thing. You only appreciate it when it's this length. Someone says, you only F with fussy hair if it's long. F y'all. Is everything okay at home? What's going on? Now I want you guys to take note of something while I read these responses, okay? Tell me when you see it. It's always some blown out hair, never a TWA or awkward face fro. You know, any of the fussy styles that people truly discriminate against that you guys are appreciating. So, long fussy hair appreciation. Where is the Florida Evan froze? Where is the shrinkage? When are we going to appreciate that as part of the process? Whenever y'all make fussy hair appreciation posts, y'all always make sure to only include the long stretched fussy hair pictures. Rarely, if ever, the short fussy hair representation. I love this response that says, people who live in wigs saying it isn't real fussy hair because it's stretched out instead of admitting this trigger their insecurity. My people will never be free. Now show it in its natural state. Saying show it in its natural state is crazy. You would think other races of women all leave their houses looking like this and everybody applauds them for it. You would think other women aren't obsessed with making their hairs look good, if not perfect, and put effort into their hairstyles. You would think this was something reserved for just black women with the way these people talk. What do you mean show natural hair in its natural state? Ladies, if you comb your hair and style it, does it stop being natural? If you actually put effort into making your hair look pretty, just like every other person has to do, does it make it less natural? You see what I mean by the fake wokeness? You're not an intellectual being with a groundbreaking opinion. You're just another uninteresting person who is unwilling to do the inner work. When I see the foolishness online, I just want to walk past and not get annoyed, especially on Twitter. But like I said, shout out to this lonely lady because she had their time. And I loved how she didn't let them up for air. She just kept whacking the legion of lace. There's this back and forth that I really found funny between her and another Twitter user. Apparently, there's a video online of an Indian woman who says that she's proud that Indian girls wear their own real hair, and it rubbed some black women the wrong way. They saw it as a subliminal. Get this, an Indian woman saying one of the things she loves being Indian for is that she gets to wear her own real hair is something that black women took to be an attack. This person makes a post saying, you guys are mad about other races bragging about wearing their real hair. When you brag about wearing their hair too, I had to come laugh. Look at the monster you created. And here goes this woman talking about, okay, but let's not forget black women wear quote unquote their hair to adhere to societal beauty standards. Black natural hair is only appreciated when it's a certain texture or length, and having your hair in a certain way as a black woman 100% affects your opportunities and quality of life. I particularly love this one response that says, we can't keep using this as an excuse. Black women have no problem rebelling against any other societal standards and expectations on it until it comes to not wearing our own hair. So it's like you will gladly succumb to the oppression in this one instance. It's so funny to me when they say this straight hair brings you opportunities thing. You say straight hair gives you a different treatment, and the different treatment is a dusty wanting to impregnate you before marriage. I'm sorry, but I don't think you are living large because of your wigs. Some of you have long straight wigs and you're still struggling to make ends meet. You're still dating someone toxic and still being treated badly in your interpersonal relationships. So I don't think it's fair for us to give natural hair all the credit for that. You say straight hair do all this and that's why you stay with your wig on. So ask yourself if you are being treated better because of the addition of the wig, or if you're just gaslighting yourself into believing the wigs give you a much better quality of life that your natural hair can't provide. I hope I don't sound ridiculous, but your wigs haven't made you a Naomi Campbell yet, or a Marilyn Monroe, or a Tyler. Heck, you and the girl who wears a natural hair both work the same 9 to 5. I mean, come on. You both live similar lives. Nobody beats her or arrests her when she leaves her house with her hair. Or maybe this is simply a unique American experience, so maybe you guys should tell me. I could be dumb and not know what I'm saying. Those of you who have dared to leave the house with your natural hair and lived to tell the tale, tell me, how did you do it? Spill. Are you currently sitting in jail? Did you get beat up? Did people tie you to a stake and try to set you ablaze? What was the story? Sorry, but this excuse is so played out, tired, and overflogged. Saying that your natural hair gets you a lower quality of life and you can only remedy this with a wig is such a depressing way to go about life. The thing is, attractive people do get treated better in society, period. That's how the world works. And I support using your attraction for your own good. Work out, stay fit, eat healthy, have good oral hygiene, smell good, dress nicely, just look put together. It's not a secret that basically the world adheres to European beauty standards. But don't try to gaslight the public into thinking an attractive person can't be attractive regardless of race, skin tone, gender, or hair texture. There is a reason you're not out here publicly fighting for skin bleaching or justifying it. Lighter skin comes with privileges too, no? So why aren't these women doing a bleach campaign? But they're out here making all the excuses in the world as to why they love to glue on other women's hair on their heads. These people seem to be very insistent on justifying just that particular beauty practice because it's the one they stand 10 toes behind. They'll wrap up their critique and justifications and excuses in a plethora of pseudo-woke language and tie it up in a pretty bow, hoping people would buy it. Because you've picked your poison and that's the beauty standard you take part in. So they don't even try to do anything to challenge the status quo. In fact, they'll join hands with the oppressors and degrade you if you do. But they don't hate their hair, no, they don't. It's just because of society, just society things. Natural hair this, natural hair that, and you go on to list all the ways natural hair oppresses you, but it's all your projection. At this point, it's a manifestation, a desperate plea from the black woman's lips to society's ears. Please keep hating natural hair. Please deny me opportunities and treat me differently because of my hair so I can show these people that's why I'm fully dependent on these Brazilian wigs that cost an arm and a leg. Please don't ever compliment my natural hair. Don't send good things my way. In fact, throw in some health problems too so I can blame it on my natural hair. That's the root of the issue. Oh, falsy hair, you're ruining my life. It's giving that one meme. Yeah, this is you holding the boot down on your own heads. This excuse is just a meaningless babble at this point, a desperate clutching at different points to see which one sticks, which one is more convincing and impressive. Oh, societal expectations. Oh, we do it to adapt. Oh, it's indoctrination. Oh, we were conditioned. Condition your actual hair first. How about that? Actually run your hands through your hair and touch your texture for the first time this year. Yeah, that's you. That's what you have. That's what you're working with. And that's what you're ashamed of. Why are the same women who used to be at the forefront of freedom or justice movement wanting so bad to lay down and take this particular lashing? I mean, there was a time you couldn't go to school with your white counterpart. Why didn't you lie there and take it? Why did you believe you were worth something? How are you just willfully admitting that you are basing your own reflection of self based on how other people tell you you should? I'll tell you, it's simple and short, and no amount of denial, deflection, and dismissal can change that. You are unwilling to dismantle this particular quote-unquote oppression because it serves you. You love prancing around with your bust down, grazing your butt cracks, and your own hair tucked away and hidden from sunlight. You are in love with whipping your hair and flashing your HD melted lace front raw donor hair. You love to show off your status and hope this makes you desirable to the men you are trying to attract. You were raised in an environment that never thought much of natural hair or kept comparing it to other textures, and you grew up, internalized it, and even when you had the chance to revisit and question why you feel the way you feel about that, you simply refused to do the work. I feel like the only person who would see a woman out and about looking like this and think she is not reaching her full potential because she doesn't have someone else's hair glued onto her head are the type of people that would make posts like this. If you want people to actually believe you are wearing these wigs 247 because you're trying not to be oppressed and trying to keep your job, then maybe try pretending not to worship the wigs. Maybe try not to make an idol of your 30-inch baby thin bust down. Okay? These tweets have women admitting, insisting, and reiterating that these wigs are worn to please society. So they're not wearing the wigs for themselves. It's a bit of a sacrifice, the things they do to keep a roof over their heads. They're wearing it to satisfy other people who have never asked you to do that. And also by extension, to satisfy men, something you typically would never admit to doing. The wig culture really has women doing 180s and defying their own stances on things. Your arguments are incoherent and inconsistent. Do you wear these wigs for yourself or for other people? Quickly, decide. If you support adhering to society's dictates on texturism, then surely you support colorism as well. So you support women bleaching their skin to fit in. Or when you see a dark-skinned woman, you just think, her skin is not allowing her reach her full potential. She could have been so much more, but she's just too black. Is that what you think? These wigs are not a result of the colonized mind, but just there to like natural hair and think black women should put effort in styling and caring for it. And they will tell you why you are a pitiable excuse of a woman who has bent to European beauty standards. As annoying as it is, it's like watching a car crash when these fake woke people start crashing out. It's so shocking I can't look away, and that's why I want to talk about it today. Why don't you ever appreciate hair that isn't combed, detangled, washed, or visible? Why won't you post bald patches? This one girl on Twitter said to this Amazon Lonnie, she said, "Oh, baby, you can nitpick all day if you want, but judging by your own media, you're not necessarily wearing your hair in its full natural state either. It may not be relaxed or straightened, but it's certainly manipulated in ways that fit an acceptable beauty standard." And Lonnie, I hope I'm saying that name right, says, "Apparently, your hair is not fully natural unless you roll out of bed and leave the house without touching it at all." Twitter's unique strain of stupidity. She says, if you're a black woman who believes this, don't, just know you have internalized an entirely false standard that absolutely no other race in the world adheres to. Every other race takes pride in brushing, combing, and styling their beautiful natural hair, and it's still fully natural. Natural does not mean undone. No matter how much the wig warriors tell you otherwise, you need to unlearn that expeditiously. Because what the problem is that people would see natural hair that has been styled and still think it's undone. It's not, it's never done to these women unless they have a bust down or they have hair that is attached to their own actual hair. That's when hair is done. I love this response because it's just chef's kiss. It's like, you want to talk about false beauty standards. That's believing rolling out of bed and leaving the house with your hair however the day finds you is the only true way to accept your beauty. You don't leave the house with your face like that to quote unquote battle European beauty standards, but when it comes to hair, you want to act so ridiculously. No other race of women does this. Even the women whose hair you covet, the ponytails you want so bad also actually has to be touched, smoothed down, and bind. Please get real. The straight wigs you wear has to be hot combed and gelled down. So why are you acting like the women you see outside every day go out looking like this and other people just cheer them on? The hypocrisy here is that so many of these women would rather spend time talking about the reasons natural hair is stressful while simultaneously sewing, glowing, spraying, melting, flat ironing, hot combing, gelling down and styling a lace wig and don't see the irony of it. I personally don't think it's a case of giving up your precious lace wigs for natural hair if it's so important to you. I personally do not like lace wigs, of course. I take a good closure wig over that. It's less damaging on the hairline as well. Nevertheless, I don't think the era of lace wig is over. I don't think lace wigs are going anywhere anytime soon. The big capitalist machines are hell bent on making black women continue to look like a mess with many of these wigs. So unfortunately, we will have to prepare our minds to see more of these jump scares every time we go out. I recently started watching Young, Famous and African, and I have to say 8 out of 10 of the frontals on that show are a mess. These are really wealthy, high-profile women, and their wigs are still looking like their hairstylists hate them. So imagine how the average woman looks like with her lace wigs. I think that the brainwashing of the highest consumers of other people's hair, which is black women, is at an all-time high. And that's why you have so many natural hair influencers returning to relaxers, ruining their natural hairs, and then going on to becoming wig influencers. It's a giant 360, so tragically beautiful to witness, like watching Romeo and Juliet, the love story of black women and their wigs. My thing is, if you are talking about a lace wig and the words versatile, easy, and low maintenance should not be in the same sentence. In fact, I'll take it further by saying I think lace wig is the worst hair choice to wear on a vacation where you want to be free and hands off your hair. I will always recommend braids for that if you don't want to have to deal with your natural hair while on break. You don't want to worry about sand or dust or chlorine getting stuck in your natural hair while on vacation or shrinkage ruining your hairstyle. I think that's very understandable. Braids give that versatility to pack your hair in any style you want and also the ability to wash easily as you have good access to your scalp. The lace wigs, on the other hand, you can't even go in the water with them. You have to keep checking to be sure it's not lifting. You have to keep doing that pat thing to reach your scalp if it begins to itch in the heat. You have to wake up and redo the edges and go to bed with your band on. You have to constantly think of your hair. And should something go wrong, you can't wear your wig anymore. You have no backup plan because you're frightened of wearing your own natural hair out. You guys saw that video I posted once of that lady on vacation who started to get boils on her head and the sores were leaking with pus and she still kept the wig on with all the funk going on underneath it because she didn't have any other option according to her. My beef with the lace legion is that they stand on the argument that natural hair is so stressful, unyielding and ugly, while all this perfectly describe most of their wigs. They are stressful to install. It's a whole process that takes hours upon hours and so much money when you take into consideration how much the wig is purchased and how much they have to pay the stylist to put it on. They also have to go home and keep tying the edges down, spraying, hot combing. These are all process of maintaining a lace wigs. Those products used on the lace wig cost money as well. So how do you in the same breath call this hard to maintain when you're used to the struggle? I don't think natural hair is as hard to maintain as these lace wigs. I mean, look at this. This stuff is basically a health hazard. Anyways, I think it's very embarrassing to want to clown someone who is appreciating beautiful natural hair in a society that downs it all the time. And it's even more embarrassing to do that when you have a wig on your head. If you want short, shrunken hair appreciation so bad, take off your wig and do that. And I'm not saying appreciating short hair is bad, but I see right through the witch hunting. Whenever natural hair is being discussed, I see right through the nitpicking. It's always the buzz down bandits doing a throwdown about how it's a bad thing to post full or long hair. It's predictable and boring now. But yeah, that's the video. I'll always whack you weirdos whenever I get the chance because someone has to. It's been a lot of cuddling and your feelings are valid BS going on for too long. These people have been getting too brave. We need a back to earth routine once in a while. If you made it this far into the video, please subscribe and like. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.